Hey guys, welcome. Marcy here, the Cranky Crafter. I hope everyone's doing well. It's Fodder Friday. We've made it to another Friday and we're back with the watercolors. I have a pretty good selection of colors over here that I've activated on my palette. Today we're making sheep and they kind of make me laugh, which is good. So I just have a few examples. Oh my gosh, look at this guy's face. These are super fun, and just like most of the fodder that I do, the possibilities are kind of endless with these colors, shapes, sizes, facial expressions, you name it. I got the idea for these actually from a piece of fabric that I had seen a really long time ago. I think it might have been like at some point when I was at Joann's or somewhere. Of course, they're not even open anymore. But I saw the fabric and I'm like, I bet I could make those with watercolor. And so here I am. I tried it. And the fun thing is that, you know what? You wouldn't even have to make these with watercolor if you didn't want to. So you know how we did the flowers last week and we used like our jelly prints and our painted papers? You could totally do the same thing with these. And, you know, for the body, you could cut out from your painted papers, your collage papers or whatever, and get the color there. And then, you know, embellish however you want to. So don't think that you have to be stuck, you know, with watercolor. You could also use acrylics if you wanted. I just love playing with watercolors, so that's what I kind of lean to. So I've got my 8 round that we're going to use. I also have this super cheap just craft brush, but it's a really small one. I have found when doing the white for the faces that using like a Posca pen or at least the acrylic pens that I have, they don't show up very well. So I've taken to using white acrylic paint with a fine brush, but you do it how, you know, whatever you have. Don't go out and buy something new, but if you can get your pens to work on it, that's great too. I have found that this white Uniball Signo, I've had the most luck with, but it doesn't really come in a super fine tip. Like I think this is just your standard 0.7 tip, which isn't terrible. It just doesn't, you know, allow you to get very detailed with it. I have just my black 0.35. It's kind of like a fine liner. That's what I did like the little curly cues with. And then I do have my black Poscas over here. For their faces, I'm using this larger Posca. You could use the smaller one. It just takes a little bit more to color it in. And then I have some white acrylic paint, just super cheapo stuff that you can get, you know, at your local craft store. It is gray and cloudy here today, which is a nice change because it's been, you know, in the super hundreds here. So having a day of, we're at 70 degrees right now, but the more exciting thing is that we actually got a few drops of rain earlier and there was thunder. That's exciting. So I just have my 90-pound paper. I had to pull out a new book, a new pad, because I used all of the rest of mine. So this just comes from Michael's. It's Artist Loft brand. It's just inexpensive. That's why I get it. And since we're just, you know, kind of doodling, making fodder and cutting stuff out, I don't go crazy with the kind of paper that I'm using. I don't want to put my money into the paper. So what we're going to do is basically make blobs. That's how a lot of our art starts on this channel. But don't make them like completely perfect circular shapes. Kind of give them little, like, I don't know, jagged edges, because that's kind of, that reminds me of, like, you know, a curly sheep. That's what it reminds me of. I don't know if it reminds you of that, but it does me. And then if you wanted to drop in some color, you totally could do that. Don't have to. It's totally up to you. You do it how you like it. You can make them, you know, chonky sheep. Maybe they haven't had a haircut in a while. But the real fun comes with these when we do their heads and their faces. At least that's what I think. And you, of course, can do these whatever colors you like. I'm doing these kind of, I guess these two are kind of like earthy colors, but you could do something, you know, much brighter if you wanted. Just leave a little bit of space because you need to be able to make their feet. But it doesn't take much at all. Let's see. How about an orange one? So we got the youngest back to school. That was a fiasco, like I told you about getting stuck in the traffic. But what I didn't tell you was before we left, right before we left, to drive over there, I had to run out for a few errands. We needed like some more like storage totes, just to make it easier to pack stuff in, as opposed to, you know, like a bunch of cardboard boxes. And so I left of a morning to go out and get those, and, you know, went about my business. And the next thing I know, I'm getting a message from my husband, and he's like, "Did you hear that loud noise when you left?" And I'm like, "No, I was already driving like away." He said, "Yeah, the garage door just broke." So the spring, like the, you know, tension spring that helps move the garage door up and down, completely busted. And of course our other vehicles were in the garage. Yeah, so that's fun. So then we got to deal with that when we got home, and we had to have somebody come out and fix that. Okay, let's start with this, but I need to dry, so hold please. Okay, so as you noticed, I'm sure, I'm just noticing that my sheep continue to get more plump. It's totally okay. Maybe these guys just had a haircut and these guys still need a haircut. Don't judge sheep on how, you know, plump they are. But if you can see these little like dark edges, I can hold it up, maybe you can see it better. Can you see like the dark edges there? If I were a real artist and making like, you know, a real masterpiece, that might bother me. These are actually what they call like cauliflowers in the watercolor world. Excuse me. It's basically where you're adding in wetter paint to an area that has already started to dry, and so you get this like hard edge. For these types of situations, it doesn't bother me at all. It adds more texture in my opinion. If I was a legit watercolor artist, I might try to avoid having those, but wouldn't you know, I am not one of those. So here we are. Okay, so now your blobs need to be completely dry before you start coming in and adding the heads. And you can do the heads however you would like. You can put them wherever. Oh, look, I'm shedding. Isn't that lovely? Thank you, Menopause. I love you too. You can make the heads wherever. You can put them wherever. So like this one, he's kind of like facing front. So his head is kind of right in the middle. This one is kind of like a side view. So the head is, you know, over to the side. Side view for this one, but the head's on the other side. So it's really, I think, up to you and how it makes you laugh. Because that's the thing, is this should be like a, you know, it should bring you joy, right? So here we are. So the next bit we're going to do after our blobs are all dry is we're going to make the heads. And you probably could make these any shape you want. I kind of make mine like, maybe like an egg shape. But I'm not like super, you know, I don't overthink it. But now that I've said that, I don't want to do that step yet because I think it'll be better if we start with whatever design we're going to do for its hair. I love these little squiggles, and literally that's all it is me squiggling all over. It reminds me of like curly hair. But also, of course, I've done dots. You can do dots. You could do hearts. You could do little tiny flowers. This one, let's just start with squiggles. So these I did like individual squiggles. This was almost like one continuous squiggle. Squiggle. That's a weird word now that I've said it a few times. To your heart's content. Because it's really, we're having a good time with it. So that's all we're doing. Squiggles. I like mine when they kind of come over the edge of the color. If you don't like that, don't do it. So then there's this kind where you can do them, you know, all singly. I mean, they can still overlap, of course, but it's, you guys, what's going on with my throat? It's not one continuous squiggle like the ones we just did. And again, I kind of like it to come over the white part. Like that. All right, let's do a few dots. Maybe we'll do dots in this one. Because who doesn't love a good dot? We know I love a good dot. Okay, dots. What could we do now? What if we did like, you know what? You could even do like some type of botanical where you do a stem. Let's do little, this is my art work is really shining bright here with these flowers. And you could color this bit in if you wanted, or not. Maybe it's better if I do it that way. Don't do the circle first if you don't want to. Nobody's the boss of you. Do it however you want. Right? So this could be quite therapeutic, making all these little flowers. So we had the garage door people come out, And they got it all fixed up for us, lickety-split, thankfully. But then, as things always go, when you're a homeowner, or maybe even if you're not a homeowner, maybe if you live in an apartment, it works this way too. We'd been having trouble with a window in the sunroom for quite some time. So our sunroom is an addition. We had this house built like 10 years ago now. It's the longest we've ever stayed in a house. Anyway, during COVID, that one's kind of wonky, isn't it? We had a sunroom installed on the back of the house. It was where like we had a covered porch, and we never used it because it's so blasting hot here and dusty. And so let's do one more right here. We decided to invest in a sunroom, and we did that during COVID. So it's been like maybe 5 years. All right, let's just do the other two with, oh, okay, let's do some hearts. Why not? I was going to say let's just do these because I think these are my favorite, but listen, let's do hearts. You don't have to color them in. Maybe you color in some of them, but not all of them. But we'd been having trouble with this, one of the windows out there, it, like, lets the elements from outside inside, which is, you know, not how windows are supposed to work. And so we'd been putting it off. We just tried some, you know, home remedies kind of thing, weather stripping, whatever. And then this last time I went out to clean the windows, and water came in from using the hose when I was cleaning the windows. And I'm like, okay, that's enough is enough. That's enough of this. So yeah, then we had to have the window people come out, and they're like, yeah, your windows are pretty much garbage, so you need to replace them. Oh, good. Thanks so much. It's nice to meet you too. Thank you for that. So yeah, now we get to replace 2 windows and spend money that we weren't planning on spending, but hey, it's great. And then the youngest at school texts me and he's like, I sliced the top of my finger off while I was trying to move my razor from the bathroom counter. Great. That's great. Are you dying? Do you need to go to the doctor? Because, you know, we're like 5 hours away, so it's not like I can just jump in my car and be there to help him out, right? Okay, so heads. Let's make one. Let's do this one like right here. So just draw like an oval or egg shape or whatever speaks to you. You could probably even do like triangular if you wanted. And then I do like little floppy ears like that. And you notice there's 2, so that means, you know, Marcy's not going to get them at all the same, because that's how it works for me. So this one, I'm going to kind of start up here, and I'm going to make a little head right in the middle. So now you want this Posca to dry completely before we add in the rest. So I'm just going to, you know, kind of do an assembly line. Okay, I already know this one's going to be funny. Yeah, I like that one. Okay, let's do this one. This. You could use black acrylic paint for this if you want. In fact, it might actually be better if you were doing a bunch of them. I would probably suggest it, because These aren't the cheapest things to purchase. And, you know, little jars, little containers of paint aren't that expensive. And probably would give you more coverage. See how you can kind of see the purple through there? Oh, I didn't give them ears. I was wondering why they were looking so weird. Guys, why didn't you remind me? Who was out there hollering at me that's telling me I forgot the ears? That one kind of reminds me of Ivy, my dog. She's got one that comes up and one that goes down. And I think my pen might be running out. Hopefully I got space for one more. Ink for one more. Let's do right here. Oh, brother. See, you can use a smaller one, but obviously it's, you know, doesn't fill in as well. And the more you go over your paper, the more it's going to kind of like pill. So don't overwork it. Try not to overwork it. Listen, I'm not your boss. If you want to overwork the paper, you do it. I'm not here to tell you what to do. There. This one looks more like a cow head. Oh boy. Okay, how about for this bit, when I add their legs, I use the smaller Posca one. So this one at the side view, I give 4 little legs too. You don't have to color them in. If you don't, you don't have to. These on the front view, I just give 2 little legs. Like that. And this is a front view. Good. Yeah, that bigger Posca is definitely running out of paint. After using this one, I can tell. It's a good thing I have another one in my stash ready to go. What do we think? Do they look like sheep yet? Okay. Let me scoot this water over. I have some white paint over here, and it is almost gone. I'm going to try to get some. Okay, yeah, that's way too much. Don't do like Marcy and put that much, because you don't need hardly any. Okay. Yeah, this could make 87 million hundred sheep, and I probably would still have a white left over. So you just want to make sure that your black is completely dry before you do this bit. And then you're just going to make little white circles for the eyeballs, or ovals, or, you know, whatever shape talks to you at the moment. I guess you could give her triangle eyeballs if you wanted to. I don't really know that that would look great, but hey, we all interpret art differently. So And you'll kind of get a feel for how big you want them to be, depending on, like, you know, how big your head is that you've made. Look at all this white paint that I'm wasting. Jeez. There's probably paint police out there somewhere that I'm gonna get in trouble with. So I think even like the white bits kind of start giving them some personality based on the shape that you use. But maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm already like, maybe I'm already making stories in my head about these guys. Okay, so the next bit, I like to add a little nose. You don't have to though. I've tried it with this, like I mentioned, but I've had the most success getting a whiter, like a more vibrant white with the paint. I just think you get more coverage. But before I add the noses, I usually do the mouths. I don't know why. The mouth, I think, adds like more personality, if you will. So like this one we'll just do like a smile. This one maybe we'll do that. Like he's, you know, he looks a little concerned about something, but might be thinking about something. So maybe got big thoughts going on. Big thoughts. And make sure you don't, you know, put your hand right in your white paint like I was getting ready to do. How about this one? We make another, oh, I don't know about that one. We'll see. It's got a very long face. That one does. That one's kind of smiley. And then you could do kind of like, this reminds me of like a cat's nose. You know what? I think this is upside down. Oh, okay, well, I think it's supposed to be the pointy end that goes into the little bit like that. Like that. And then you can come back if you want to and give them little, little noses. Okay, that's might be a little bit, yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that one. Like that. Don't mind all that extra paint I have over there. So now you need to make sure that the white bits are completely dry, because we're going to come in and, you know, give them their little black dot in their eye. Oh, sorry. Pause just a second. I think this one needs like more, like, its head is weird. I don't know. That probably just made it worse. Oh boy. Okay. And then just add your little black dots in there, however you want them to be. But I think it gives them still some personality when you add that in. Oh, maybe he's yodeling. Yodel-hee-hoo. Maybe that's what he's doing. Good. Okay. There. Now, next bit. The next bit is up to you to decide. You can take your fine liner and go and outline everything, which is usually what I do. But I'm kind of considering this on these particular ones, the outline already. I don't know if I need, like, maybe these. And I'm kind of just doing it, you know, really loosely like I always do, and kind of wavy. I don't know that it's actually necessary. You try it out and see if you like them better with or without. I kind of like the idea that the hair is kind of just poking out. So these make me think that I don't want to add any more. So I'm not gonna, because I'm my own boss. All right, now I don't, the faces could use a little bit of work, right? I kind of like this one. Okay, they're all cute, but I might need to refine the faces a little bit. We'll see. We'll see. And you know, you could also have fun with splatters if you wanted to do splatters on them. So your next bit is, you know, kind of deciding. So like, can you see where there's still paint here, but it's super light? I'm kind of keeping that in my cut. So it's, you know, like always, it's up to you on how close you want your cuts to be, you know, how curvy or not curvy or whatever. For the sake of the sheep, making it curvy makes me think that it gives it like another element. Okay, you guys, come on. Who wouldn't want to run into that sheep when they were out taking a walk? I mean, I don't generally run into sheep when I'm out taking a walk. When we had our farm, yes, we used to have a little hobby farm when we first moved to Washington State, and I miss it dearly. We had llamas and goats and chickens and the random rabbit from next door that we named Frank. But our neighbors did 4-H, and they had sheep, and they also had pigs. And so I would get to talk to the sheep through the fence. And when it was time to like wash the sheep, okay, this one's kind of cute too. When it was time to wash the sheep to get them ready for the fair, they would bring them over to our farm so that our kids could help, even though they weren't part of the group. And that was always fun. So you had like all these sheep lined up on the fence getting scrubbed. Okay, it didn't smell very good, but it was fun. There's our yodel sheep, our yodeling sheep. Yodel-hee-hoo. That's what he's doing. He's probably trying to, you know, get a mate. That's what I bet. This one, I'm not sure what this one's all about. Oh boy. She's got big thoughts going on in her brain. That's what I can tell. Yep. One more, you guys. That's it. Then, wow. Where are we at? Oh, yeah, for crying out loud. That's almost at 40 minutes. Holy moly. I'm going in pharmacy later today, making the husband go. Not making him. He's going because it's the right thing to do. Anyway, we're getting some vaccines. I'm a little bit worried about the shingles one because I've heard that it can put you down for the count. That's what I've heard. So, you know, if you don't hear from me, maybe send help. Look at these. Oh, hoo. That's, and this guy's like, what? Shut your pie hole. That's what he's saying. In this one, I think she likes the yodeling. Come on. Aren't they so fun? Okay, so I'll admit the faces need a little refining, but especially, I don't know about that one, but we're all right. Like this one, okay. This one's a little, but here we are. Little sheep, big sheep, plump sheep, chunky sheep. Do them however you want. Decorate them with whatever you want. I think they're lovely. And like I said, you could not use watercolors at all and just use your painted papers. And that would be super fun too. And that would be a way to use up some of your stash if you had a bunch of it. So that's another Fodder Friday in the wraps. In the wraps? That's not how you say it. That's another Fodder Friday. It's a wrap. Oh, for Pete's sake, this brain of mine. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe. That would be fantastic. If you have ideas for other Fodder Fridays, list them below because I can always use more ideas. And I'm trying super hard to get up to 500 subs. I get up and then YouTube takes subs away. I don't know how it works, but that's what's going on. Not that 500 is even a big number, you guys, but for them it is a milestone. So yeah, if I can get to 500, then I thought it would be fun to do some sort of little giveaway, but let's see if we can get there. And thank you guys. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time.